anger would go from like 100% to like 99%.
Yeah, but then the moderates would have a way less things to sink their teeth into when they point to left wing cancel culture, right?
Yeah, but real life moderates don't, like, people that are looking at things with an honest lens are not sinking their teeth into those things. They're going like, oh yeah, that sucks, but it really doesn't change the argument much at all.
Yeah, but it's really unfortunate when they have multiple examples of unjustified bans.
No, not really at all. It doesn't impact that whatsoever. Like,
How
if we were to find out that Jenna
how not?
Simpson actually called her husband like a big piece of shit doo doo, and she was going to break his big TV, I don't think anybody fair would never, that wouldn't move the needle. Like, oh fuck, okay, I understand why I killed her. Maybe it wasn't, the worst thing in the world. Like, that's not moving the needle at all.
For the
Like, if
moderates?
there might have been, yeah, no, I don't think so. The moderates aren't seeing reality. The moderates are seeing what conservatives are showing them, and what conservatives are showing them are that every single one of the conservatives are being banned unfairly because it's not because they're being banned for misinformation. They're being banned for the truth. Conservatives aren't upset because they got banned for COVID misinformation or because they were unjust bans.
But the thing is with Destiny, though, is that why is banning for saying something that's not true justified, though? Why? Like, he's assuming, yeah, but they're saying a lot of misinformation. We weren't saying a lot of misinformation. But even if we were, why is that a bannable offense? Like, I don't listen. Obviously, like, flat earthers are wrong, right? I don't think they should be banned off of YouTube or anything. I think they should be allowed to say whatever misinformation they want. So that's something that Destiny has to establish, though, is that why is misinformation a bannable offense?
They feel like they got banned because the Jews or the deep state or whoever's controlling all of social media was trying to suppress the truth that COVID was either fake or the deadliest disease ever, and that the vaccines were fake or the deadliest things ever.
Yeah,
That's what
but
they got actually mad about.
Yeah, but the issue is that if they were also feeling like they were getting their speech staunched at school or at work because they were like making too edgy of a joke, all of this gets lumped together in a Gordian knot, which is fucking stupid. But this was also all happening too. And so again, there are certain justified bans that I will just stand by, and most moderates will stand by. Most moderates will be like, yeah, the JQ shit's kind of crazy. But when the moderate person, especially who says retard, is getting pressured at work, is worried that they like might become the main character of the week, I think that that's really bad. And I think it's a really bad thing that was often the energy of canceling these types of people was coming from the left. It certainly wasn't the right trying to cancel people for saying retard. So I agree that the right was like, probably received a lot more justified bans as well and staunching of their speech. The issue is that for the moderate experience, this cancel culture bled so extensively that it was impacting their day-to-day life where they didn't feel like they could say some things. And now they can capitalize, the conservatives can capitalize on that genuine sentiment that was driven from the left and use that to peddle like insane shit, which is, again, if they didn't have that, we would be in a much better position if moderates hadn't felt afraid to say retard or to like make edgy like sexism jokes or racism jokes. That we would be in a better position.
Why not just like gaslight them and call them crazy and say that stuff never happens?
Yeah, see, right there. Right there. He said, well, why not gaslight him and call him crazy and tell him that that doesn't happen? What a fucking like a psychopath, right? Like a sociopath right there. Like, let's just lie to them. Like, what a piece of shit.
The
The reason why I don't
moderates?
really believe these complaints from moderates, yes, the reason why I don't believe these complaints is that, like,
And then that's always his go-to. Is like, well, I don't believe them. I don't believe these complaints from moderates. Like, what are you talking about? Like, dude, it's reality. Like, the fact of the matter is the left's behavior did push moderates more into our side. That's why we have the big tent conservatism, and that's why we have a bunch of people under our big tent that are kind of like clashing with each other because we're not really all conservatives, but a lot of people are moderates here that got chased away from the left. How does he deny that? And Destiny always does that. And she says that this is his strategy not to cut to the right, not to give us anything. But I don't know if that's just from his strategy. Like, because if this was his strategy, why is he doing it to her as well? Like, they're on the same side. So why is he doing it to her as well? Like, I legitimately think he just either he's just a straight up liar, which is a big possibility. Like, he's a big gaslighter and liar, or he really believes that, well, the moderates are just bullshitting.
anytime a black person complains about racism, anytime a woman complains about sexism, the go-to argument is always, oh, well, this person's crazy. That never happened. They call everything this or that or blah, 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 blah. And then people move on from it. And I think that there are people in those categories that have like a lot more legitimate complaints. The conservatives who are saying that like, oh my God, I'm worried I'm going to be randomly charged with a rape because I looked at a woman at work wrong.
No, they're
So I don't know why
worried
the
that they're
moderates
Yeah, and so he's comparing it to like when black people say racism, then people don't listen to them, and that's more. But even though that's more of a genuine concern or a genuine complaint than if a right winger says, "Oh, well, I'm gonna be accused of rape because of this," even though that tangibly happened, that actually happened where people were accused of rape, not even just right wingers, just in general because of the Me Too movement, were accused of rape when it wasn't even rape, or there's more to the story, or it was just a straight up lie. Meanwhile, you would have black people being like, "Oh, this person said monkey, and a black person was right there, therefore racism." So, no, actually, Destiny, it's actually the complete opposite of what you're saying.
It's like the complaints from the right so much, but like from the left, they're like, oh, well, these things are all fictitious, and I believe everything the right says about their complaints.
I think the moderate is definitely if the right starts in quote. So when did the moderate start hating the right? When they started pushing church into all of their spaces and telling them that they couldn't say the word like God's name in vain, and starting to like shove their personal predilections down the throats of the moderates that are stupid, just trying to work and take care of their kids. And I think the left did that dominantly from 2016 to 20. Like I'm sure the right tried to, maybe at times, but the main pressure that moderates would have experienced, absolutely. And the reason that they would care about it is because they're selfish, because it personally affected them.
And they always compare it to like the satanic panic or whatever, like of the 90s. And it's like, yeah, there was a lot of like the Christian, like I wouldn't say censorship, but I don't know, maybe censorship. But there was a lot of like things that Christians did or the right did or whatever, but it wasn't as bad as the left. For instance, like the right would like Christians would write into TV shows, but at most the TV shows would just get played later, like at a late night time slot where kids couldn't watch it, because that was the concern, was children. They would want these TV shows away from the children, or at a time when children couldn't watch it. Were areas when the left would cancel someone, it was just like, nope, the TV show has to be gone. The TV show has to be gone, or the video game has to be gone. It all just has to be gone. Where at least at the right, it was just like, just make sure the kids aren't playing it. Let's put warnings on the video games, or let's do this or do that. Completely different thing.
Yeah, but then I mean, then I think that the only thing that needs to change is like the messaging to show that the right is lying about a lot of this stuff. I think I don't think like if you when you take the position of like I need to purify like everything on my side so much so that every single thing is beyond criticism or beyond reproach. One, that's just never going to happen. It's always
Is
going to be
that my
impossible. You're always
is
going to
that my position though?
well, when your position is saying like, well, the moderates have something to sink their teeth into. No, the moderates, you're looking for something, you're being shown something if that's what you're sinking your teeth into.
Not if
Because
their
the
daily
idea that
life they've experienced it, right? And they understand that feeling
no,
of being
no, their daily
canceled.
life, that's not true. I don't believe that the daily life of most people is getting canceled for calling somebody retarded. I don't believe that.
Okay, by canceled, if we're including things like socially ostracized, being pulled into HR and told that they're not allowed to do it, yes, moderates are being affected. And to everyone who's saying that's a vibe, yeah, moderates who are uninformed on politics are fucking stupid. It's all fucking vibes all the way through.
I
Sorry.
don't, but it's not, regardless of vibes, I just don't like even in the places that I work, like if I would have called a coworker like a retard in front of like a customer, I would have gotten shouted at by my supervisor. And this is in fucking Nebraska, Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Yeah, that's at your actual fucking job, though, Destiny. That's at your job. Like, yeah, if you're calling a customer, your coworker, a name, then yeah, that's a little different than what the left was doing, which was, hey, look at this post that the person put on Facebook. Hey, this is racist. Hey, look, this guy said that, don't take the vaccine for COVID. Oh, better let his job know and get him fired. That's what the left were doing. It wasn't like, oh, at the job, Bob was, being really crass and offensive and stuff. No, it was that even on his off time, he wasn't safe because people were going to report him to his job. That's the difference. See, look, Erudite, don't get me wrong, Erudite's full of crap. Like she's on the same side as Destiny. She's not a moderate or anything, even though she's trying to paint herself as one. She's not. She's a lefty. Um, the only difference is that she's at least willing to see reality for what it is, and Destiny is not. Like she at least acknowledges that the right got more way more canceled and stuff like that. Destiny is not even willing to concede that, even though it's the absolute truth.
Like, where are all these work environment? I don't believe this. I think these are things conservatives are saying, and they're telling people to feel this way, and so people are vibing with it. But like, what work environment are we in where we're like casually like shouting retard at people, and we're like, oh my god, I can't believe HR nailed me on this one. Like, even 20 years ago, I feel like you would have got in trouble for that. No?
It's going to be like anywhere that's, I still to this day, when I enter like more left social spaces, you're held hostage by like the most politically correct person, right? Where you like say like retard and they'll be like, ooh, I don't know about that. It's shifting
Yeah.
back, which is good right now. It's shifting back for all of the worst fucking reasons though. But yes, you would.
Well, yeah,
like,
but I mean, like,
everyone
that's
has
like,
experienced being socially held hostage to the most PC person, and the issue is that that threat had teeth because people can go to your HR. Was it the daily experience that if somebody said retard, they just immediately reported to HR? No, but they were seeing it on social media. They were hearing about their friends happening it. I already told you, I know 8 different people at university alone who experienced this. Right? I just do, and so this was impacting people's personal lives.
I mean, like, I feel like it's a matter of what you put focus on. Because I mean, like, you're always being held hostage by people in your social group in terms of what you can or can't say. Like, there's never ever been like, this is the ultimate.
Dude, it's not just your social group, dude. See, Destiny is so disingenuous, dude. So disingenuous. Like, I there was like a video that went viral a few weeks ago where some girl couldn't get into this festival or this, I don't know what it was, some kind of gathering, but it was like a lefty fucking gathering, you know? And she couldn't get in because she was a white girl and she had braids in her hair, and that's cultural appropriation. So they didn't let her in. Like they didn't let her in. And then when she was saying this is retarded, this is a retarded policy, they're like, you shouldn't be saying retarded. That's offensive. Like, absolutely, like this is happening, and it's not just within social groups, it's everywhere in the leftist areas.
Anarcho free speech socialist group where everything goes. Like, everybody always has some shit that they get irritated about or stuff that you can't bring
That's
up
not
for
what I'm
whatever
talking
reason.
about.
No?
But that's not what I'm talking about. Right? I'm
You're
not
making it sound like when the left
No.
won the culture war, that like now that people can't say retarded, like people were getting either HR'd or they were getting kicked out of their social
No,
groups. Like, I think
no,
like just language.
no, that's not a genuine
Okay, then I'm not
reframe.
understanding it.
Well, that's not a framing of what I said. Did I say?
Okay, I completely didn't understand. Or what reframe? What my reframe was? What do you think I just said? You thought that you didn't say?
It seems like you're saying that people are running around screaming retard at their boss, right? I'm not saying that they're screaming retard at their boss of work. I'm not saying these
I didn't say
things.
boss. I said coworkers.
Sure. Okay.
But go ahead.
Coworkers. Okay. I'm not saying that they're running around doing all this stuff, right? What I'm saying is that there was unquestionably driven from the left a zeitgeist around how you can talk and think and speak, and things like edgy humor, anything that was perceived as racist or transphobic or all these things absolutely impacted people. And this type of zeitgeist that encouraged the behavior where we would maybe like socially get weird, all the way to getting poor grades suddenly for conservative opinion, all the way to getting called into HR, which didn't happen often. I don't think it happened all of the time, right? But I think it did happen, right? That this whole capture of culture was driven from the left and went all the way up to bans on YouTube, whether they were justified or not. And this entire sentiment settled in a large part because of the left being unfettered in its cancel culture.
I mean, I guess I understand. Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess I kind of understand what you're talking about. I feel like
Okay,
like
but I'm
language
using
and stuff is
this.
always changing, and people are always like being captured, and people are always like moving in
I
directions.
agree.
Things they
I agree. Which is why when conservatives bring this up,
whatever.
well, because when conservatives bring this up, I will immediately point to when like at Christian space and like churches, when Republicans had more power, they just like wouldn't let you say like fuck and shit like that, right? They like did the same thing. The reason that I ever brought this up is as one explanation for a long litany of reasons as to why right wingers are mad. It's not to say that they're fully justified in their anger. It's just to say that this is one of the reasons driving the anger, and something that moderates blame the left for. They don't blame the right for. It's mostly a matter of internet history that I'm referring to, but people keep en masse disagreeing with me that conservatives even got banned or moderated more, right? In fact,
Sure.
I've had people try to tell me that left wingers actually got targeted more. There's been people in my chat being like, actually, it was the left that was targeted from 2016 to 2020 more, which is absurd. That's obviously not true.
If you're just doing a description of things, then I think I would agree. But you're mixing a lot of language. It makes it seem like it's more prescriptive, or that you're justifying the other end. So it's hard to,
well, the issue is
handle on that sometimes.
People are baking in a lot of prescriptions as well. Like, you can just ask me and clarify if that's the prescription that I'm making. Am I prescribing that we should just be like en masse banning the left to make up for it? Or that am I even prescribing language or rhetoric to people? I'm literally not. I'm starting with the description that this is true, that it did happen, and people won't even concede that.
But you're not just saying that it's true and it did happen. You're also adding in secondary things things where you're saying that like there were probably a larger amount of unjustified bans. So you're saying that there were bans that happened that shouldn't have happened for the right wing, and that might be a big reason why they're mad. So and that sounds like a valid justification, I think, to anybody, right? Like, well, if we're going to ban
This is why he gets called density. Like again, I don't know if he's being disingenuous. I don't know if he's really that stupid, but like he won't concede anything. Like he refuses to admit anything. Like again, she's full of shit too. Don't get me wrong. But at least she acknowledges that yeah, the right got way more canceled than the left, which is way more than what the left are willing to do. She even said herself, "People told me that actually it was the left that got canceled from this time." And it's just like, dude, like, so even she acknowledges that people lie to her and stuff, and Destiny won't even concede that, and she's trying to get him to concede that, but he just won't. But I wanted to share it with you guys because, like I said, he straight up says, "Well, we should just lie and gaslight the center, the moderates, to tell them that it's not happening." Which again just shows what a piece of shit Destiny is, and this is the type of people that we're dealing with, not just erudite, but Destiny. And that's why I watch these, because I want to know what they're saying. And that's why I want to show it to you guys, not just to make fun of them, but to tell you this is the type of conversations that they're happening. And it's good to know that what our enemy's thinking. But what do you guys think about this? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this. And also, too, if you like watching this, I have a whole playlist of I have a whole playlist for you on the screen that I think you'll enjoy.